Hello and welcome to the Navy Blue Corner. I'm Ian, joined as always by my good mate Lockie. And the first game of the 2023 AFL season is only days away. Feels like it's been forever, but thank God footy is finally back, Lockie.
You feel like it's been forever? Have you healed? Have you healed over these last 6 months?
Well, I've finally healed from what was basically our last episode because the latter stages of that best 22, the mood wasn't as good as it probably is at this stage. And we'll definitely chat about that
we're hyped now.
as we get going. We've given it some time. We've mellowed. We are back. We're fired up. But Lockie, let's get straight into this because there is plenty to cover in this round one build-up episode. Lockie, take me through your emotions before our round one game against Richmond. How are you feeling and what are your expectations for the game?
Wow. Let's start big.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely feels different to last year, I think. But still, maybe it's more stressful than last year. We had big expectations last year, but we still had the monkey on the back. A lot of those monkeys we got off our back last year, but some still remain. So there's still the stress. I feel like maybe this is a bad take, but I feel like if we didn't have Geelong next week, maybe I'd be a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like there's more riding on this because of that. I don't know if you feel like that.
It definitely factors in weirdly. Like you want to do the old cliche, take it 1 week at a time. But yeah, if we had a bit of an easier team next up, it probably takes a bit of pressure on potentially being like 0-2, which I know a lot of people will have that rhetoric around the start of the season if we start to lose the first few. But yeah, like as you mentioned, we got the monkey off our back last year, but in a year that we kind of did that, we didn't sort of go on with it. So I'm kind of, I at least was probably last week, very nervous, very, very nervous going into this one. And I was probably a little bit down on everything. The Sydney game really just ruined my mood completely. It got me into that headspace kind of negative spiral of like, oh my God, what happens if we are bad? What if everything bad happens and transpires? And it took me a while, but I think I'm finally out of it. And I'm out of it because of this, Lockie. And it was really today trying to come up with this run sheet, think of things to speak about. And it's kind of changed my mood. And that is, we need to embrace expectation and not hide from it. Like even as fans, like,
okay,
this is okay. Oh, mate, here's your pump up. Here's your pump up speech because like the feeling and everything around round one in this season, like this is everything we've kind of wanted for years, forever. We want every single game to mean something, whether that be good or bad. So like, let's just go out there and enjoy it and embrace the situation that we're in. You know, anything can happen. And that's kind of the exciting part about the start of the season. And at times we've shown last season and with this group that we're good enough at our best. So I think it's just about time to believe it. That's kind of how I'm being uplifted at the moment, just trying to be like, stop with the silly negativity. You don't know what the season's going to be like. This is the fun time. You can be as nuffy as possible. You can say you're going to win the flag because no one knows yet. And there's so many possibilities. So why not focus on the positives?
Mate, far out. I didn't think 4 minutes in before we got the pump up. Normally it's in the latter half. So bang, you hit us. I love that. I mean, I think I mentioned that in one of our early episodes this season. Like our focus for me is taking it that 1 week at a time and just like embracing the fact that, hey, every game we go into this season, we're going to have a really good chance of coming away with it. So let's back them in. Why not?
100%. And look, and if you're as excited as we are and you're watching on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, drop in the comments as well how you're feeling about everything. I want this episode in particular to be as interactive as possible. If you're listening on your streaming services, head over to our socials at Navy Blue Corner. Chuck us a follow, tweet at us, message us. We want to hear from you all. And I'll get the cheeky plugs away. Follow.
Look at
never miss an episode.
You're growing.
Subscribe. There you go, Lockie. I knew you'd like that one. I had to throw that in
up
somewhere. And to get you even more pumped up, Lockie, merch. We've still got a couple of tees left. The link will be up on your screen again like it was in the last one. If you're listening, it's in the show notes, in the comments. And if you don't want to look there, I'll say it for you now. It is navybluecorner.bigcartel.com. Buy a tee because, look, I'll be honest, we've got a couple of messages asking for sizes and things like that we're sold out of. We may never make this tee design again. So if you want one and you want to show off that you're a day oneer of the Navy Blue Corner,
Facts.
grab one now.
Navy
navybluecorner.bigcartel.com. That's enough of the plugs, Lockie. Let's get back into talking about our round one game. We kind of alluded a little bit to this, but do you have many sort of expectations for this game in particular?
Oh, expectations for the game. I mean, so much is like thinking about,
yeah.
I mean, round one last year, know it like the back of my hand. Boy, have I relived that so many times. And I feel like it was a little bit of a slow start in that game. We were a bit inaccurate in front of goal, and we allowed them to get a bit of a jump on us. And then it was obviously the end of the game where we just ran over the top of them. So, I mean, I would love to not have to have that storyline again. Like,
yes,
could we get the jump on them and then just hold it? Like, that'd be nice for our sanity at the G.
No, I agree. And I'm hoping for a bit more of a mature performance. I think that's what we all want this season, like that 4 quarters. Obviously, there's going to be times Richmond are a good team that they're going to get on top of us, but I don't want it to be looking back at that quarter and going, oh man, we're out of it. We got to change something. We're either thereabouts or I want us to completely take over this game. And like, look, my expectations, they're nothing crazy. I'm not necessarily expecting a win. I want one. But, and I know we're going to kind of allude to this later, but it's a long season. I'm not going to lose my mind if we do lose this one. But I guess in saying that, like, I want us to be a finals team. That means we need to win these kind of games. So yeah, I want one. That is definitely what I want. And the expectation on this game should be, let's beat the Tigers. But yeah, sorry, Lockie, you were about to say something?
I was just going to say, I feel like we need to clip you saying that you're not going to lose your mind just to play before we record on the weekend, because I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm sure you're going to be just as positive. I'll let it go.
No, hopefully it's positive and we won't have to even worry about that.
It will be.
But we kind of alluded to this a little bit. We said last year that we finally broke the drought. We got our round one win over the Tigers in what kind of felt like a we've arrived moment. And I guess a year on, there's still so much to prove from this group because of what maybe didn't transpire last season. Do you feel as if there's almost more pressure than before on Carlton to kind of win and I guess to start the season in such a strong manner?
Yeah, I think there is. It's a different kind of pressure, like I said at the start. I also can't imagine. I agree that it felt like a we've arrived moment last year, and I feel like the bar is different now. Like I feel like a big win on Thursday can't be a we've arrived moment. Yeah. I feel like that will be reserved for if we win against Geelong. So it's a different kind of pressure. I feel like even though we are the underdogs in this game, like you can already read what the headlines are going to be if we do lose. It's a different kind of feeling. So it's definitely there.
I think the expectations and the pressure is always going to be super, super big this season because last year was a bit of a free run. You don't make finals. It's sort of all the media pressure and outside noise is definitely on that. And I guess even from us fans, like we want finals, we expect it. We're going to be disappointed if we don't get it. But I think what I've kind of touched on before is like it's a long season. The pressure's there to win every single game, but like last season we were 8-2 and it all went tits up and we didn't make finals. So like I'm not going to be stressing this season. I'm going to try not to anyway. Let's see how that works and see how that pans out. But I'm going to try my hardest not to get too stressed about kind of the results. And you made me think they're saying like if we get a massive win, like my kind of thoughts are like, yeah, that'll be great. Obviously, I want us to let's win by 100 points. That would be beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it would feel like a big deal. Like, okay, we've started the season strong, but because it's such a long season, anything can change week in, week out. My attitude compared to last year, which was, holy shit, we've won. Maybe we're going to do it. This year, it's kind of still a bit more of a wait and see as we progress. So I kind of agree with you. I don't think even if we did go out there and completely dominate and wipe Richmond off the park, that it would be this like, we're going to win the flag mentality. And I feel that that's kind of the way that a lot of Carlton supporters are feeling at the moment too.
Yeah, maybe I am wrong in saying that even if we beat Geelong, it would be a we've arrived because we've been burnt before. We could be 8-2 again, and we'll be like, well, now prove it. We're gonna be saying now prove it until we're holding up the cup, which is fine. I can wait 6 months.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So trying to break down this game because this is what the match build up is all about. Lockie, what are kind of the keys for us to win this game? And then what do we kind of need to look out for from Richmond, looking at the opposition?
Mate, I want you to take this first. This is your domain. I feel like I know you. On the other side of that monitor, you've got a great little list of things for each of these. So I want you to start.
Yeah, well, look, this is a look behind the curtain here is definitely, I give Lockie the run sheet, but then I'm writing my notes down
5 minutes before the show, people. Let that be known.
Well, I've got to try and look smarter for the people listening at home. It's the only way to get it done is to just give you no prep. I've already written out my answers before the questions have even been asked.
Go on. I know you've got some gold for this.
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty simple. And it's simple, stupid footy talk, but it starts at the contest, considering that's what we've built our game on. And all you have to do is, which I know every single Carlton supporter can do pretty easily, is look back last quarter, round 1, last year against Richmond, just the domination in the centre bounces, in the contest, and taking that game away from Richmond. And it goes such a long way. And I think Richmond's biggest strength is kind of their outside run. You look at a player like a Bolton, even a Pickett at times that can kind of open games there. And they've added a silky player like a Taranto. So if they're able to get that ball out to their flashier players that generate so much, Dusty obviously is the main one. I managed to forget there, but you get the ball to those guys, they're dangerous. And it's the stupidest and most simple thing. But it's like, if we're able to stop it at the source, dominate that area, then we're taking away the real strength of Richmond and going towards ours. Yep. And probably the other main things is, from a Richmond point of view, they've sort of burnt us quite a lot. Transition out of defense. It's been a big talking point over this sort of pre-season, looking at what we need to improve on from last year. And then also our transition as well. If we can really get that going with a McGovern, with maybe a Lockie Cowan in there as well, I think those are kind of the key elements to how we can get the win. Is there anything that you're kind of looking for, even if it's from a player that you want to see from this game, that in your mind guarantees us a win in a way?
Oh, guarantees us a win. I was ready until you said that. I don't know if it guarantees us a win. I think the thing that I'm most excited to see, and we saw some of it in the preseason, is not only just what Akers himself does, but just the effect of having him there with the width that we've spoken about, like how that affects everybody on the field. I think it's almost like, I feel like we're almost underrating at this stage the effect that that's going to have. Like, we have just been crying out for so long for some competent wing game. And I have a feeling we're going to be sitting here talking about the win and being like, we just structurally look different with him out there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
No, that's going to be an interesting focus, because a lot of the preseason kind of looked like, and I'm hoping it was this, that we almost went at a bit of 60% in those practice matches. Of course, weren't giving away too much. But one of the big things that looked great was an Akers on the wing, was a Hollands or an O'Brien in that Collingwood game. So you kind of know that, like, we don't know. We don't know what Vossi kind of wants to do with his wings. We haven't seen him with that capable, one of the best wingers out there. That's what I really want to see, how that works, how we look to move the ball, and just what that means for a game against the Tigers. Because we haven't really opened up teams width-wise. It's normally been through the middle, through that contested stuff. And that outside game is what all the big pundits are always talking about. We're too one-dimensional. We're slow. It's all the same in the midfield. We've added some new dimensions to the team. Let's see how it all plays out. And if it works well, I reckon we're walking away with the chocolates. But this is we're getting close to the fun part of this episode, which is revealing our best 22s. But there is one thing we need to mention about this game before we get into it, because there's a massive occasion that is taking place Thursday night. And it's not just the great Jack Silvani's 100th game. It is the fact that when he reaches this milestone, it will be the first time that 3 generations of footballers have all played 100 games at the same club, which is just, look, it's an incredible achievement. It is something that, as saying, it's the only time it'll ever happen or has happened, which is just ridiculous to think about what has come from this family and what they've been able to do for this football club. I guess, what do you kind of make of this achievement, Lockie? And what can we kind of expect from Silvani on Thursday night.
Oh, I mean, it takes you back, I feel like, to his first few games, like his first season. We're in the number 2, and it was like, I don't know. Did you think he was going to get to 100 games? If you're being completely honest, back then, surely not.
Probably not. It could have been, but a late draft pick. We definitely weren't expecting a lot from him.
Yeah. So it's just brilliant to see how obviously he was a fan favorite from the start, but he's kept that status up and, mate, kick some goals. Make you happy. Imagine he rolls out of this game with just 4 behinds. What word are you gonna have for him then? So kick some snags, Jack. Come on.
Yeah, look, we know he's passionate, and I think we've seen in the past in those big games that are big for the family, big for Carlton, that this man steps up. He loves this occasion. So I think this is going to be his bread and butter. He plays off that emotion so well. And being, you love watching those little videos that have been almost played to death now of him as a kid singing the Carlton theme song and in that Carlton jumper. You know what it means to him. So we just know that, he's going to go out there, give everything. There may be a bit of biff involved as well from the man. I know he loves it. And get him kicking snags out there. I want a best on ground performance from him. And it might sound stupid, but I feel like it'll happen. He just cherishes these massive defining moments for us. And he's been dreaming since he's a kid that he's the man to kick our winning goals. So I want to see it.
Do you reckon Steve will be there getting around him? What are you calling it? Yes or no? Get Steve on the big screen.
Well, he has to be, but I don't know. Maybe he's there scouting now. Maybe he's too busy. He can't be out there. He's watching the under 18s. He's got his list management things to do. Do you reckon we'll get a smile from him on the TV if he's out there?
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. We know Joe will get around it.
And Joe's the one we really care about on this podcast these days. So big shout out to the Silvanis. But yes, a massive, massive achievement from Jack and the Silvani clan. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the selections, Lockie. I want your full 22 plus the sub. And the fun part about this is that the club have already announced a couple for us, which makes it a little bit easier. They've announced, of course, the debuts of Oliver Hollands and Lockie Cowan. Lockie, lay your lineup on me.
So you're telling me you're not game enough to swerve, even though they've announced, a curveball? Could one of them be the sub? Would they dare do that, do you think?
See, I was having a chat with outrageous. A mate. I was having a chat today with a mate from work about this, and he was like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's the sub. And I just went, mate, if they did that after the announcement video and everything, that would just be horrendous. You can't, after announcing it, you can't give him the sub treatment. You're playing your first game. Maybe you'll start maybe in the last quarter. That'd be pretty dog. I wouldn't be happy with that from Vossi. If you're going all out with the social media, he is starting on the ground.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident they will be, but I'm just floating it. How do you want me to do this? I can't just read 23 names. The people they're going to hit the 15-second skip passes from Lockie. They don't want to hear me for that long.
Okay, well, give me a back. We'll start at the defense. Go your back 7.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Weeders, Young, and Gov. Please play Gov. Please. How good was... just think about last year, round 1. Yep. Sardi, Doc, Newman, and of course the Moo Man. Are you embracing the Moo? I've seen people tweeting about, I don't know, can we woof and Moo? That feels like a lot to me. I don't know.
Look, I'm not sure I'll be the one out there mooing unless I get a couple of cordials into me. But
you will.
If it happens, if he gets his first kick and there's a moo, I think that I'm just going to be crying laughter. That would genuinely be one of the funniest things ever in football if this catches on. I kind of want it to, because it's so dumb that it's almost amazing. Imagine woof, moo. We got to start finding the rest of the barnyard animals out there. Try and get the rest of them. Can we make any noises for Fisher? Is there anything that Fish makes? What can we do for him? No. There's plenty of content out there for it. I'm sure we can get something going. But no, look, I've got the exact same defense there. I know in our best 22s, everyone fit. I was quite high on a Marchbank being in there, but honestly, at the moment, I'm not too sure his fitness levels. He's been dealing with that calf, and we're already carrying potentially a few other underdone players question mark around them. Asterisks is galore. So I'm going to go and stick fat with that defense there. Love the addition of Newman there. And yeah, Cowan, big debut. So excited for this, man. I wasn't sure he'd be ready that early. Maybe with some injuries, he wouldn't be. But I think the exciting part of the debuts is that these guys have earned it. We're at a situation with, I think, this list where we didn't have to play these guys anymore. There was other options to go for. But we've kind of gone, no. Like, this guy's put in all the work in the preseason. He's ready to go. He's shown enough. And it's kind of nice. This is maybe a bit of backhand to someone else, maybe a bit of a drive-by, which I am known for.
Yeah.
But it's kind of SPS. It's all good, mate. It's all good. It's not going to you anymore. But it's kind of to Plowman. Like, I'm kind of happy in a way that we're not just, and maybe he will be in the lineup. I don't know yet, but it looks to me that we've taken that step. It's no longer we get an injury and Plowman's just the safe option. We've got some other guys pushing for selection, changing things up. Someone that wants to attack the game, and that is a big bonus for me. Feel free to go through the next lines.
You've spoken it into existence now, mate. He's absolutely
starting centre half back. You beauty.
This one felt pretty self-explanatory to me too. I think Pitt will be taking the first bounce with Cripper, Ches, and George, Akers and Hollins on the wing. Had to think there for a second. I think Hollins will be out there.
Yeah, I've got the same for you. A question on this is, and obviously you've got Kennedy on the bench, I'm assuming, for yourself as another mid-rotation. Of course, we've got to have our man out there. And with Hollins, I'd love to ask you the question, because in your best 22, you had O'Brien. If you were making the decision, would you have had O'Brien over Hollins to start?
Yeah, I probably would. Like, if I was doing, from the information that we know, we don't have everything, but I feel like I probably would have just gone with one debutant. I think, as much as I'm stoked to have both of them out there, it's a massive thing. The pressure. I mean, they're both childhood baggers. Imagine it's you and me selected round one. What
it should be. Get us out there. Is it too late?
That's a story for another day. I think we've still got time. But hopefully. So I probably would have gone Lob, but I have all the faith in the world in Ollie.
It's funny. I had Hollins in my best 22. Everyone fit, yet I think I still would have started O'Brien, which is maybe contradictory, but it's if I wanted to play a game for my life, I'm going, Ollie Hollins. But to ease someone into their AFL career, maybe would have gone on O'Brien. But clearly, he has stood out enough where Vossi's going, I think he's potentially over him. You never know if O'Brien's in that team as well, but at least they've seen enough to say, this guy's in that squad. Go your forward line and probably the teeing off the rest of your bench, because this may be where we've got some differences. I'm interested to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at these names, even if we release this episode in an hour, there's a chance that one of them will be ruled out by then, for all we know.
Hey, don't be doing that to us, Lockie. Not now.
Hang on, let me just touch the wood.
What we want to be hearing is the opposite, where Walshy's named round one, he's ready to go.
Did you listen to Vossi talking on whatever that footy show was about that little clip where
I missed it, so please enlighten me.
It was him and Dimmer were both on, and he was like, and Dimmer was like, "What? Like, is there a chance Walshy round one?" He's like, "No, definitely not. That would be the ultimate alpha move."
Oh, just a little bit of
go on TV, say there's no chance, and then slide him in. Harry and Kerno, Motlop and Durds, if they're fit, our two best smalls. Sauce for the big 100, and I mean, my man, Jack Martin.
You're big on him now, aren't you?
I'm his man. I had him as my sub in our best 22, all fit. But I think, again, for this game, I think I'd have him out there. Do what you did 1 year ago in that fourth quarter, my man.
Yep. And do you have any forwards on the bench, Lockie?
Yes, of course. And Zach Fisher's got to be in there.
Yeah, beautiful. Look, we're finally back in sync, and it's good to hear. Got the exact same out there for us. The big question mark really going into this is kind of a lot of those 50-50 calls, it seems like. You've got, to a lesser extent, McGovern. We haven't seen a lot of him. He played the VFL game. They seem to say he's fine with that little back niggle where he seemed to get kneed in the back in a training or something, and it looks like he's all good. Martin got that that VFL run. His injury, we don't know what it was. I'm just going to say it's him being allergic to being healthy. That seems like the only thing that could have been going on with him. But hoping he's ready to go out there. And then, the other cloud is around those small forwards. We heard Motlop with his calf pretty much on that Saturday. It was a big thing at the Blue Abroad season launch. The murmurs immediately started to go around. There was a bit of panic that set in, but things were eased pretty quickly. And then the other one is Durden with the hamstring. We have not seen a lot of him, which maybe makes me a little bit more nervous around him than a Motlop. With that being said, let's just say if a Durden isn't fit, who would come in for you into that team?
Wow. It's actually a good question. I guess it's got to be Owies for the most for like, but Honey's around it.
Yeah, I'm going Owies myself. Yeah, I think that just the pressure of what the player Durden is. Yeah, look, it's an option. For me, I'd probably go Owies. He's that more plug-in sort of replacement, quite a similar player to a Durden. Be absolutely fine with him sort of coming in for that. And then I guess if both of him and Motlop for whatever reason didn't get up, is that when you'd probably play Honey as well? Or is that when you're going Ed Kerno? What you thinking around if the worst case scenario happened and both of them weren't there, or maybe a Jack Martin and one of the smalls just didn't get up?
I've just got this weird feeling that Kerno is around it.
Yeah.
For the selectors. I just have I really would not be surprised if he is named. But I'll stick with Owies and Honey as being my front two.
They're my preference. They're my preference as well. So I guess rattle off the last bench spot and then give me your sub as well here, Lockie. See if we can get the exact same team.
I mean, if you've missed our ruck debates, we talked about it in depth on the last episode. So go back to that one. But I mean, it would be insane to me if they don't play TDK just on form and structure, just like an omission. So I think it'll be him. And I've gone O'Brien as the sub. I mean, we haven't really gone too much into sub tactics yet. I would not be surprised if it was Ed Kerno. And obviously I spoke the other week that Martin is like my favorite sub choice, even though you're worried about him doing an ankle 2 minutes in. I feel like if he can just play one quarter of get 10 disposals and kick 3, then that's perfect Jack Martin for me.
No, look, we've gone very close to having the same team. I know I went very big on and I still don't love the 2 rucks, and we know all the reasons. I'm not going to rehash anything. If you want to know, listen to our best 22 episode. It's in there somewhere. I think I spoke about it for way too long. But I do have De Koning in there, and the reason being is I was looking for versatility for the sub, and kind of with a lot of the injuries that we have at the moment. While I could have maybe had an O'Brien playing or an Ed Kerno playing and then made the other one the sub, I don't love it. Like, you can't play De Koning as the sub, so why not get him out there? It seems like that's what the club want to do. So I'm happy to give it a go round 1. It worked really well last year where sort of Pitt wore down Nank and then De Koning came in that last quarter and just took over, used his athleticism. And maybe we'll try that again this year. It's going to be quite interesting. Then I've gone Ed Kerno as my sub, mainly for that versatility factor where I think O'Brien could well and truly be the sub, but knowing that he kind of only plays wing, I like that Ed can play wing, play midfield, chuck him in the forward line, move the magnets around a little bit more. But you kind of don't know what they're going into this thinking. That's a big watch this space throughout the year, is seeing our teams use this tactical sub. It's back in full force and it's going to make the games a little bit more interesting, wanting some run off that bench, surely.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I guess if someone goes down, O'Brien slots onto the wing, maybe they repurpose. I don't know. Chuck Ollie to full forward. Chuck Akers off halfback. We'll move the magnets around elsewhere, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see who becomes the perfect sub for us.
100%. So, Lockie, teams are out for us. If you're listening, drop yours in the comments on YouTube, tweet at us, Instagram, Facebook, message us individually. Do whatever you need to do at Navy Blue Corner, of course. But let's keep going into the predictions here, Lockie. I need the winning team, the margin, and give me your first goal scorer.
Okay. Well, obviously. Imagine
Imagine if you went rogue.
That would be ridiculous. I think we'll win, and I think it'll be closer than last year, which I'm so sad to say. I'll say us by 8. First goal kicker is good. Let's just make it a fairy tale. I think it'll be Sauce.
Oh, well, we saw last year a big goal from Doherty for other reasons. Crowd went absolutely insane. I reckon when Silvani kicks his, you're going to have some very similar scenes from the Carlton faithful. Of course, I have gone Carlton with the win. I do think it's going to be a close one-ish, but I'm hoping Carlton get another goal. So let's make it 17 points. And my first goal scorer is your man, Jack Martin. I just feel...
My man.
There's something in the air. The ball goes down there. There's a crumb. It does a little bit of a turn, bit of magic out of nowhere. Jack Martin gets the goal. Let us know your predictions. I'd love to know the first goal scorer predictions and give me a bit of a scenario as well. Really go into it. Let that imagination really just get into it. But Lockie, I'm going to pass this part of the podcast off to you. We asked the lovely people on Twitter the fan questions. Ask if they've got anything for us. Lay them on me.
They always have stuff for us, mate. So get ready. And I love this. I love being able to throw you under the bus.
We're back.
Do what you do to me at the start of an episode. Don't let you prepare. And no fence sitting. That's a massive 2023 rule. We established this. We've been over this.
But am I allowed to build multiple fences? So I'm not sitting. I'm hovering. I'm building. I'm getting away at no double fences?
I don't want to say this, but maybe it's a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
I'm happy to refer this as we go through the season. We can establish some clearer rules.
Fair. Look, I've gone controversial with the TDK opinion, so let's continue the controversy. It creates cash, so let's get into it, Lockie.
Let's do it. Firstly, from Adrian asking, where is his merch? And how have I not put it? How has it not got to him yet? And Adrian, can I just say, firstly, great job, Ian, on the plugs last week. Clearly that worked. Adrian, we love you. I sent it today, mate. It is.
Oh, it's out.
Should we say, will it be there for Thursday? I'm not putting any pressure on Ozpost.
I'm not putting any, I wouldn't say pressure. I would not back Ozpost with a lot, but it'll definitely get to you. We back him in for that. Let's fingers crossed it's ready for Thursday and you can see some navy blue corner merch, maybe even at the game. That would be an incredible sight for myself to see. But yes, you can. I was about to say, if it hadn't been shipped, all blame goes to Lockie. He's got the merch. He's got the Ozpost satchels. He's got that ready to go. But for once, and I can't believe it, he's nailed it. So, look, hats off to you, Lockie. It'll be out to you soon.
The strike rate's been good so far. Thanks to everyone that's shot us a message with a photo of the merch when they've got it, all that.
Unreal.
Love it. Thanks, team. Now should we get into it? Oh, Wayne, are you comfortable with the prospect of an 0-2 start to the season? Or do we really need to get a win in the first fortnight? I'm leaning towards yes, given the way we finished 22. So how's that for a big question?
Oh, see,
Don't you dare get that fence.
I feel like I'm fence sitting with my answer because
I
don't know. There's sort of two parts. I'll explain it. If you're not happy, I'll knock one fence over and I'll stay on the other. But did he say comfortable? I would not be comfortable if we were 0-2, but I'm also not losing my head if we're 0-2, just because I don't know. I don't know. What do you say? Last year it was 8-2, and I feel like I'm repeating this from multiple episodes, but
no, I'm
trying not to be too phased by it because we were so happy. We were like, yes, perfect start. And then we absolutely bottled it. So there's no chance. There's a chance that we go 2-8 and make finals. Like I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself and get too bogged down in the numbers and worried about it. I want to see how we're performing, how we're actually going about the results and trying to maybe put more focus into that. And let's just worry about it when it gets to it. I don't want to be, there was so much stress last season looking at the ladder, doing the predictor. I want to push that away. I don't want to try and worry about that this year. Just focus on each game. But I do agree, if we get off to that early start, if you beat a team like Richmond or Geelong, somewhere competing for finals, just the confidence boost that gives you, added belief of everything's going right. Yes, we can match it with those teams and do better. So it would be big. And I think for that reason, it is important that we do get one of these wins because like I touched on earlier, We want to be a finals team. You got to beat finals teams to be in there. We want to win the flag. This is how you do it. What about you, Lockie?
Mate. Hope that's coming through on my mic right now. No, I'm not adding to that. You nailed it. Wayne, thank you for the question.
Yes, definitely.
Are you comfortable? Yes or no?
No.
There it is. And on Twitter here, Wayne's got his little nickname there as Dub D. Over to our other favorite dub now.
We got another dub. We've got a couple of dubs now. I'm liking this. Everyone needs a dub in their name. I'm liking it.
Keep it coming. Gold from Timmy Dub as always. What 5 players will provide the most organic growth this year to take us to the next level? Organic growth, 5 names. You don't need to go into depth if you don't want to. Just put them out into the ether.
Yes. Well, firstly, it was lovely meeting the great Timmy Dub for the first time at the Blue Abroad season launch. Absolutely great, man. Hope to see him throughout this season. And 5 players to take a leap that get us there. I've talked about that small forward role, so I think it needs to be a Motlop. It needs to be a Jack Martin / Silvani, one of those. Happy to go Jack Martin with it. I'm going to go TDK. Let's get a ruckman out there. Someone I've been hot against. Let's get him going. Yep. I want a big one from McGovern. Clearly,
yes,
we need that intercept. And then I'm going midfield. I'm picking everyone from around the ground. Another one that I've been hot on, Adam Chera. I want him to go from that. Yep. He's decent. He's that sort of B grade to he's a superstar. And we have seen in the games without Sam Walsh that this man steps up. He has his chance early in the season to get a bit of confidence, a bit more time in the guts. And then who knows, when Sammy Walsh comes back in, he needs to almost make it as hard as it is for us to say, oh, Walshy, you might not be there. We may be listening to Lockie. He's on the half forward line. So, I think those are my 5 players. Do you have any others, Lockie, that you'd love to throw out there?
Absolutely not. No, this is the Ian segment this week. This is where you can just air all of these beautiful opinions of yours. So, perfect.
Beautiful.
I'm not allowing offensive for this one. I don't think you'll have one. From Clarence, would you prefer to win by a 60-point shellacking? I don't know if I've ever seen that word written, only heard. Shellacking. Or
how does he spell that one? Is there a C in there? An H, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to take Clarence's word for it. Or after the siren winner. I feel like it's pretty...
Look,
you're going to be a madman if you... Yeah,
it is clearly the 60-point shellacking is what I'm after. Let's just absolutely dominate Richmond, show us that we are the team to beat. But, and this isn't offensive, this is just throwing out something into the universe that if the situation got there, this would be fairy tale. If in that scenario there was a goal after the siren, I'll only accept that if there's one man that gets that goal, and it is, of course, Sauce. Jack Silvani with a goal after the siren to win it, to prove me wrong that he can kick his goals. It's the only situation I'll take because I want stress-free 60-point. Let's make it 160. Why not?
All right. So this is, just imagine that I've tweeted this in, so I get a question this week. Give me your top 3 players to kick the goal after the siren this week. Not who's most likely, but the happiness level that you would feel. So you got Sauce number 1.
Sauce number 1.
Who would 2 and 3 be?
Cowan number 2.
That was
my boy. My boy has to be Cowan.
Would you imagine? I love that.
Who's number 3? Look, it's probably this man because it seems like anytime he kicks a goal, it always happens to be the best highlight, the best crowd noise of all time. It's Zach Fisher. It just has to be. After last year, there's only one man I want it, and it's Zachy Fish, surely.
That's good. Literally every player I think of,
imagine Pitt from outside 50, 60-meter talk to the siren. He's put it through.
Think about that last Weeders goal, mate. Imagine that. Starting to win. The scenes. Or Cripper, just to round out that 3-vote game. Oh, anyway. Okay, that's getting me too excited.
Very excited.
Look, that's caught it from me. Last one from Jake B. No questions. Just want to say happy round 1 week, boys. Shout out to Jake.
Big shout him. Very excited about this one. If you have any other thoughts, if you have any questions, anything we've chatted about, chuck it in the comments on the YouTube video. Get on the socials at Navy Blue Corner. Get around it. But we've got a couple of other things before we wrap up this round one build-up. Actually, you know what? I'm going rogue. I'm going something that's not on the run sheet.
Going off the run sheet.
Yeah, just a quick thing for you that I've come up with. I've made a couple of notes. Richmond, we've got some injuries. Richmond have got a couple of injuries ruled out just for the people that are listening, that want the information. Yep. According to my sources, which was an article that I read before. So all use, if wrong, goes towards them, was that Robbie Tarrant, Ivan Soldo, and Josh Gibkiss are not available to play in this one, which means there's a couple of big boys down back that are out for them, which will be interesting to see how that lines up, knowing we've got a couple of big boys down forward and maybe even a big De Koning spending some time down there. But there's a few players that didn't look like they were going to be fit that Richmond are saying are good to go. And I want to get your thoughts maybe on whether the inclusions worry you at all or anything like that. So the few are Marlon, whatever his first name is, Pickett. I'm not good with your names. Why is there an I in there? Don't know what's going on. He's recovered from an adductor. Jack Graham, don't know if he makes their team, but he's fixed his toe. I don't know, put a band-aid on. I don't know what that man's done. Jaden Short is apparently, he's back from a calf. And the big meatball, Dion Prestia, is back from, I don't know if he was playing with his pecs or doing something in the mirror and hurt one, but he's apparently overcome that as well, the big meatball.
Yeah. Well, I think he got injured in the last Pracky game. So I had a feeling that
he always does.
Play. Yeah, he loves that too. There's not a whole lot of concern with those guys, I guess. I had something that I was going to go for, and now I've lost my train of thought. You've thrown me off with the peck talk. It'll come back to me in a second. You give your thoughts.
That's good.
I'm going to have them. Go.
Well, it's good to see that you've brought something to the table, and we're here having a conversation. You're just like, I got no idea. Give it back to Ian.
It'll come to me.
I can't be too concerned. I got to try not to be with this. Probably the only one is like, I feel like Jaden Short always plays really well against us, so it would have been nice to have him out. Same for Prestia, but yep. Okay, I'm going straight back to you. I don't need to finish my point.
Cochin. Did you think he should have got a week?
I should have got 10 years for that. He's an absolute grub of a player. I think he should have got a week. It seems insane.
So do I.
He's never really suspended. He loves his fines. I don't know what he's paying under the table to get it done. But no. Thanks for bringing that up. Worth cutting me off. No, but basically with it, I think Short was the one I'd be more worried about. Prestia, I just feel like he'll do his hamstring in like the first quarter. It seems to be his forte. But I don't know. Yeah. I'm kind of happy that they're maybe joining us in bringing a few boys that may be a little bit underdone. It kind of excites me a bit more than maybe it should. But I just thought we'd touch on some of the injuries and see if that changed any matchups or anything like that to give you some information. But two more main points on this one before we wrap this one up, because we need to go through our footy tips, Lockie. We said in our first episode of this year that we are partaking in the Carlton Cheer Squad's footy tipping competition. So we're going to do it live right now. We don't have the teams, so look, these are subject to change. I'll put an asterisk on it, but I want us to go through it.
We're locking them in.
Locking them in? Okay, Lockie, Carlton, Richmond, and your margin. Who are we going?
Shall we split the difference between our two margins? So like 13 points? I
always go 11 points in my things, no matter. Yeah, and good. I don't know, it always seems to be okay. No one's, if you're in this tipping competition, you heard nothing, and I'm bleeping it out for you in particular on what that little strategy is, but I do like that one. Geelong, Collingwood.
I didn't even think about the fact that we're giving intel here to others that may be listening in the league.
It's all of these is the opposite of exactly what we're going to do as soon as we finish recording. So it's a diversion.
Gee, there's going to be some games this week that are you could go either way. I'll say Geelong.
We're going Geelong. I'm going for Geelong as well. Next game, Saturday, 1:45 at the beautiful Marvel Stadium. We got North v West Coast. It may be the match of the round. Who are you going, Lockie?
You make sure you tell me when you disagree with one of these. But I'll go new coach bump that North go 1-0.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on this one. It looks like 67% at the moment have gone North. I reckon we back the popularity in that one. Port v Brisbane at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, so you like this because it's in Adelaide, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to give it to Brisbane, though.
I agree. This good. These are simple stuff. We
Look
don't
at
have to
us.
argue too much. We got Melbourne v Western
D's.
Bulldogs Saturday night. The D's have got it. We got Gold Coast and the Sydney Swans at the Heritage Bank Stadium, no longer Metricon. Who are you going, mate?
Got to back in Errol Goulden, 180 super coach.
He's in there, 100%. Another interesting one will be at Giant Stadium. GWS take on the much talked about for some reason. I still don't understand why. Adelaide Crows.
I mean, I have to just back in my wooden spoon pick here. Actually, did you have Adelaide spoon?
No, at Hawthorn.
Because I had Giant spoon. Yeah, I'm going to have to
Are we
say
going Adelaide?
even though I don't feel good about it.
Yeah. No, I reckon we do it.
GWS at all.
They're 23% at the moment, so I reckon that's where we get our upset of the round. Okay. You always have to have one, so I'm liking it. Now we've got at the MCG, Hawthorn v Essendon. Yuck. Yeah, it's not a good one. Prime time, 3:20 p.m. Beautiful. I don't like either. I think I'm backing in my wooden spoon, so I think I'm Essendon, unfortunately, but that pains me to do. Marvel Stadium to finish the round, 4:40 p.m. Glad we don't have that graveyard shift anymore. It is St Kilda taking on the Fremantle Dockers. I'm surprised St Kilda can field a team at the moment with some of their injuries. So are you going Freo?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I think that's simple. We can select a favorite AFL team. Let me do that. Let's submit those tips. You beauty.
Look out, cheer squad.
Loaded to go. We will win this tipping competition because, Lockie, you know what we do at the Navy? Well, you know what we do here at the Navy Blue Corner when we're in a competition, when we're doing anything? We win. We win. And that is the perfect segue, unplanned, because Lockie's got the run sheet. That wasn't on there. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Because the last thing, we got a fun little announcement, and that is that this year we are again taking part in the Carlton Supercoach League, featuring some of your favorite Carlton content creators out there. Now, last year, Lockie, we went all the way. We took out the premiership, defeating the great Lek Dog in the grand final, and we want to go all the way again. It is time to build a legacy. So, look, keep your eyes peeled in the coming days, baby, as we'll be releasing a little short video exclusively on our YouTube channel, Navy Blue Corner, revealing the Supercoach team that will be starting for the 2023 AFL season. But look, it's time to announce the participants of this competition. It's a competition for bragging rights in the Carlton community. We have the great Blue Abroad, Pommy and Oz. We've got the Ian Prendercast boys, who have the best Carlton bloody podcast name in the business. We've got Heath Buck from My Blue Heaven. We've got the Almost Blues brothers. We've got the new addition, the Carlton Besties. We had to include them, of course. We've got the Blue Pod. We've got Old Dark Blues, another newcomer to the Carlton space. The Carlton Rap, Baggers Chat, of course, the Carlton Cheer Squad. Look, we love you guys, but we're going to beat you in the tipping competition. We're going to beat you in the Supercoach. And one of our favorite journalists that we have out there covering the Blues and AFL, we got Jake Ben-Watson. And the last but not least, the Supercoach guru himself, the man from the Jock Reynolds podcast. It is, of course, Lek Dog. Can we do it again? Can we make sure to get this guy and beat him again? Hopefully. But look, it's some tough competition. But we've done it once. And look, we're hungrier than ever to take home the crown. This isn't a premiership hangover. But look, we'll be here to update you guys, hopefully, throughout the season weekly, get some updates on the socials, maybe even mention it on the podcast if that's something you're interested in. But at the end of the day, it's a bit of fun, a bit of bonding for all the amazing people out there. There's a podcast, there's a YouTube channel for everyone if you love the Carlton Football Club. But Lockie, before we wrap this up, is there anything that you have left to say to the people or anything about the Richmond game for round one?
I don't have the Vossi pump up like you did at the start, mate. Again, I'm just feeling blessed that you and I are going to be at the game. It's going to be packed. It's going to be beautiful weather, I've heard.
40 degrees, mate. Prime time. Excited for probably some turf that isn't going to fall apart when the players run on it. That'll probably be the only thing I'm worried about. Surprised that's been buried. but something has to. I've got the plugs in, so the MCG turf debacle will get parked for another day. Fingers crossed it doesn't cause any injuries for us. But that is going to wrap up this episode. We are so happy that the footy is finally back. I hope you're all as excited as we are for round 1. We can't wait to be back here next week after a huge Carlton win over the Tigers. Go Blues!
7 points, baby.
See you guys next time.